All right, scholars. So in this next lesson, we are going to be exploring midpoint. But it's more useful conceptually if you understand what an average is and how to calculate that. And even though I do know you guys all know how to do it, right? So let's take a look. An average is just a measure of central tendency, right? So it's the number that's exactly in the center. So if I gave you like 4 or 5 numbers, let's just say 40, 20, 70, and 90 or something like that. I'm just picking easy numbers, right? And I ask you, go ahead and find the average. You already know that you're gonna be taking all these numbers up, adding them and dividing by how many numbers there are, right? So basically you're taking the sum of numbers and divided by the total amount of numbers, right? And that's how you would get the average. And so we don't really have to do this, but actually let's just do this very quickly. This is gonna be 60 plus 70, so that's going to be 130, and 130 plus 90 is going to be 230, and then so you'll basically do 230 divided by 4. Whatever the answer is, you'll get, that's the average, okay? So what if I have like 2 numbers? Let's just say I have something like 12 and 20, right? And I ask you, hey, what's the average of 12 and 20? You already know what the deal is, right? You basically do 12 plus 20. You divide it by 2 because there's only 2 numbers. And then what you end up getting is 32 over 2. And so 32 over 2 is going to give you 16, right? And so 16 is the number that's in between 12 and 20. It's equidistant, right? So if I put 16 here, like the distance from 12 to 16 is 4, and it's the same distance as from 16 to 20, which is 4. Great. So that's how you, that's average, okay? There's one more thing that I wanna show with regards to average. It's the idea that, what if I gave you the average? What if I said I have an average, and this is the symbol for average? Let's just say the average is 30, and let's just say I have one number, I have 20 or something, right? What does the other number have to be that's gonna give me 30? If you guys have never learned the setup, here's how you would do it, right? Because it's the same setup as this on top, except it's just, you have a variable, right? This is x. So what are you gonna do about it? Well, the setup is very much like this. These 2 numbers, x plus 20, when you add them up and you divide by 2, right, you're ultimately gonna get an average, and that average happens to be 30. At this point right here, if you're taking a look at this and you're trying to solve the equation, it's very easy. You just put it over 1, cross multiply like this, right? And so 1 times x plus 20 is just x plus 20. And then 2 times 30 is going to give you 60. And from here, right, you could subtract 20 on both sides. And x is equal to 40. And that's really how this is how you would actually find the missing value that you need to create an average of 30, okay? So this is going to be useful in the next video when I show you midpoint formula.